Couple questions. Under this bill, when we talked about this in codes, police officers, the clips, the number of bullets in a magazine, the way the bill is written right now, when a cop has 14, 15 bullets in a clip, they will be restricted to 7 bullets. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to be taking bullets out of the cops' guns?
No.
Well, Joe, if they presently have 14, they won't be able to carry 14, right?
Mr. Graf, let me assure you that the intent of this statute is only does not do anything to what the police are entitled to carry. They already have an exemption, and because of the objection that you made, I believe that the governor is preparing, as we speak, a chapter amendment to take care of the language and make it clearer.
Okay, Joe, can you tell me how many chapter amendments we're up to now with this bill?
Only one. They'll all be in one chapter amendment.
So there are no, okay. How many issues are going to be in that chapter amendment? It
Depends on what we need. I mean, we'll decide that possibly by the debate.
Okay, do we know where we're up to now?
We're up to maybe 3.
3, okay. Now, the other provision here is, now, with the clips, excuse me, pre-94 clips, that takes effect immediately when the governor signs this bill, correct?
I'm sorry, I was...
the pre-94 clips.
Yes.
That takes effect immediately.
That's right.
Once the governor signs this bill.
Correct.
So in actuality, if we have, say, a sitting legislator up here who has one of these pre-94 clips, okay, and between the time that the governor signs this, he's got to race home or he could be subject to arrest?
What's the answer? As we discussed in codes, I think you would agree, Mr. Graf, that, and in many cases I've heard members on your side argue about prosecutorial discretion and that no DA in his right mind would want to penalize a police officer for doing something unknowingly that was illegal.
Yeah, unfortunate for me, I was a New York City cop when Liz Holtzman was the DA in Brooklyn. So I'm not that sure that they won't be prosecuted by an overzealous DA. There's a couple other issues here, Joe. Okay, and the way that the bill is written right now, just to get it on the record, all right, it's supposed to be, I believe it's a year for turning in certain clips that have more than 7 bullets. Is that correct?
No.
Well, it's actually 60 days, right?
The only clips that would be required to be turned in are the ones that are pre-94, that have more than 10 rounds capacity. The ones that are 10 people who now possess and own a 10-round clip would be grandfathered in and be able to own those clips so long as they only put 7 rounds in them when they use them.
Okay. One other thing is, I think we discussed in codes also, that the police officer going to a school right now, he's not exempt because we haven't incorporated the exception for police officers entering a school with a firearm. So the police officer going into a school with a firearm, under the bill, how it's presently written, would be violating the law, isn't that correct?
That's one of the things that's going to be in the chapter amendment to clarify it, to allow a police officer to do that.
Okay. So that's another boo-boo we have in this bill.
I wouldn't call it a boo-boo, I would call it a mistaken drafting.
Oh, okay. Uh, Now, under this also, I'm looking at page 8, and under this, transfer of what they call immediate family.
Yes.
So now, for instance, you know, I have a carry permit. My wife's uncle has handguns, and if I'm in his will for his handguns, I have to take them and bring them to a gun store in order for me to take possession of them, even though I could just add them on my permit.
You don't have to bring the guns with you. All you have to do is have a background check done.
Even though I have a license, I have to do another background check.
Right. The purpose of the background check is to check it against the NYS database to make sure that you're still eligible to have that gun. It may be that you've become mentally ill or you've committed a domestic violence offense that you're no longer eligible to have that permit.
All right, and further, now, we're sending all these reports to the FBI, all right, page 9. Any such records, I mean, is this in accordance with the HIPAA laws that we have? We're going to be transmitting private information, medical information to the FBI?
Yes, it is.
It's in compliance with the HIPAA laws?
Yes.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm glad you brought that up because I want to commend Mr. Ortiz for providing us with a lot of information and his input on the mental health as well as the Kendra provisions of this bill.
Okay. Okay. Now, the other thing, too, is if I'm at a gun range and I buy a box of bullets, I have to go through a check when I buy the bullets, right? The box of bullets.
That's right.
And if I decide that I haven't left the gun range, but I want to shoot another box of bullets, I'm going to have to go through another check.
Only if you're dealing with a commercial seller does that rule apply. That's the conversation that I had with Mr. Jordan. It's not, if you're at the range and they're providing ammunition for you to shoot, that doesn't apply here. You don't need a background check to get that ammunition.
What if I'm buying the ammunition?
Buying the ammunition from somebody who's a dealer, firearms dealer or an ammunition dealer, you need to get a background check before you can buy it.
Well, wouldn't that count in the range if I'm buying it from the range?
No.
Okay.
It's a different business.
Right.
It's not selling ammunition. It's range. You're at the range. It's not commercially. It is the sale of bullets, but it's not commercially sold. You're selling it for the use on the range.
Okay. And now, the person that this goes, like, it's not me as a person purchasing it. It's the person that's selling the ammunition that has the legal liability, correct?
Correct.
Now,
That's
what are we doing with the internet sales of ammunition? So, you can't buy ammunition over the internet, right? If a out-of-state ammo dealer ships straight to a person's home, how are we going to get jurisdiction over them? How are we going to enforce this law with the internet sales?
It's not going to be easy, I'll tell you that. And I believe that you've hit on something that's important, that we have to figure out how to do it. It's not unlike taxing people who sell over the internet to New York State residents. But it's a problem that I hope we're able to deal with after this. But let's get this bill done, and then we'll worry about internet sales of ammunition.
Okay, well, I'll speak on my vote later. Joe, I thank you very much.
You're welcome.